Hey guys, welcome to this new thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a new thing with a subject that I've been studying for a long time now. And it's about these guys. I wish I could say guys and gals, but apparently America just doesn't feel that it's the right time yet. I can't really express how much I deeply and utterly hate that. But let's just move on with this. What I'm really going to be doing is I'm going to be rating each president on different subjects of their presidency, of their leadership, of their background, etc., etc., etc. You'll see how I do it, and I just really want to go right into this. I don't want to waste too much time. So yeah, here we go. Let's do this. So as you all know, we have to start this up with our first president, George Washington. What can I say? He was the first president of the United States. Major responsibility. It's important that you always have a good first leader, because without a good first leader, you are in deep shit. And about his presidency, I don't want to focus too much about what he did in his early life, because that's not his presidency. We're going to focus on his presidency a little bit more. But his presidency, Washington was very good at setting precedents. Although he at first had no idea what to really do in his presidential leadership, he did shape things in ways. The sort of flip side of that coin is that Washington was very indecisive. He left pretty much all of his ideas to his cabinet, and then if they said no, he would reject it. If they said yes, then maybe it could appeal to him and he would have the final word in it. But really, while many people still think that Washington had the bigger say in this, truthfully, it's really his cabinet who was making all the decisions, and then Washington would kind of go along with whatever they said because his cabinet was really trustworthy. In 1790 was the acquisition of the capital, Washington, D.C. It would later become the capital in 1800. There was a 10-year promise that it would be moved to Philadelphia, but then in the start of the 19th century, it would be moved to this area of swampland that nobody had known before. Washington, besides that, he took a lot of actions on himself in his second term. He felt like the problems in his second term were more for him to deal with. He thought that they were more his speed, so he definitely profited from them more than his actual cabinet. For example, the war between Britain and France that started like the moment he was inaugurated into office for the second time. Washington effectively understood that although war was the main thing he was famous for after the Revolution, he thought that the best thing that America could do could let the Europeans handle this and sort of, take back the promise that America would be there to fight whenever that was necessary. Washington in 1794 helped stop a sort of skirmish of Pennsylvanian farmers after they thought that this whiskey tax, and they thought that it was unfair. So he effectively took steps to stop that. Washington, on the flip side of all of this, was a huge enslaver, and is actually, I think, owned the most enslaved people out of any president. And he only freed one by the time of his death. But he did stop his own wife from selling one as a wedding gift. That has to be taken away from his overall gratitude to what this country has become. He supported the 3/5 deals, pretty much saying that if your ancestry was from Africa, you were only 3/5 of an actual human being. Pretty much saying that white people are in charge, mostly white males, and if you are not, you have less power, mostly African Americans. So that was not good. And that pretty much sums it all up for what I think George Washington is. Most people praise him as being this perfect president, but if I honestly have to look back on it, he wasn't perfect, he was good, he wasn't perfect. So I think out of the 5 ratings that I'm going to use, amazing, great, okay, mediocre, bad, I think I'm going to put George Washington in the good column. The good column, not the amazing column. So there you are right there. And yeah, let's move on to the next president, John Adams.